Hi, so I've been asked a few questions about my dentures and I thought I would go ahead and do a video and answer all those questions. I've been asked about how deep the troughs are, about how the flanges are, which are the sides of the dentures, about how deep my palate is, and also about the far back of my top denture and how thick that is, the part that's right at the edge that meets the soft palate. So I'm going to go ahead and answer those questions really quickly. At the end of this video, I'm going to use my old dentures and show the difference between my old dentures, my new dentures and my old dentures, and answer the same questions. The answers are completely different. So, but I'm going to go ahead and do that just as a complete side note. But I want to compare the two dentures, and it's like a night and day comparison. So anyways, so this is the back of my top denture. And I don't know if that looks thick to other people. For me, it is not. When I put my top denture in, it is completely even with my mouth, and when I run my tongue over it, it is a smooth, right from the denture to the soft palate. There's no gap, there's no ledge, there's nothing. It's just a nice smooth, just goes right from the hard palate to the soft palate. And so the side walls of my denture, also known as the flanges, I believe. I could be wrong. I'm sorry if I'm wrong, but I believe that's what they're called. And I know mine look kind of odd, but that's just how my mouth is shaped. And I know that this looks like it's very high and that it might be uncomfortable. It does go all the way up here, but it's not uncomfortable at all. It doesn't dig into anything. It gives my upper lip a lot of support, which I really like because I did not have that with my previous pair of dentures. And then my palate is very deep. It is more true to my natural my natural palate. It is much deeper and it has a nice. It's shaped to my natural palate. So I really like that. When I first got my dentures, my tongue had so much space that I had to learn how to form some of my words again because my tongue was not used to that much freedom, and it was like it just some of my it was like blah, blah, my it just flopped when I tried to form words. So I had to relearn some letters because my tongue was not used to having that much space. I also have full-size molars. My dentures are 3D digital. Alexa, turn alarm off. My dentures are 3D. The alarm completely sidetracked me. 3D digital milled monolithic dentures, which means that each denture is made from one solid puck of material. They're Ivotion dentures by Ivoclar. And so but they're one solid piece of material. And where other dentures have each tooth is individually bonded into the base, or for 3D digital printed and 3D two-part milled dentures, the teeth are in one solid strand and then those are bonded into the base. For these, there's nothing that was bonded into the base. There's each one solid piece of material. And then on my bottom denture, this is what the trough looks like. And this is what the walls look like on these. And I know that this looks very odd, but in my mouth, it makes sense. That's the thing with dentures, is that out of our mouths, they look very odd. So when people share pictures and say, this is what my dentures look like, do they look weird? They are going to look different than other people's dentures because everybody's dentures are different. They're based on our own mouth. So that looks odd out of my mouth, but in my mouth, it's not lopsided. It's completely even. If I were to run my finger right there, it's all even with the way that my mouth is. It's just the way that my mouth is shaped. It's just a little bit, it's just different than someone else's. So it looks odd out of my mouth, but it makes sense in my mouth. And that's all of the questions as far as my current dentures go. I'm going to answer all the same questions with my old dentures. So with my previous dentures that I had for 14 years, this is what that part looks like. It is a bit thicker than my current dentures. So let me see. I have to. So here it's thick here, and it's thick here. And when you compare it to my current denture, it is completely a big difference as far as the way that is, how deep it is, how thick it is. I could feel it when I would run my tongue back here. I could feel a wedge. And then also you can see the difference in the palate. Just even from the bottom, you can see how much higher this one, my new one, goes. And with my old one, how shallow it is. It's very shallow here, and there's a ledge here. So with this one, I'm going to be very, very careful. This is the way that my fingers are on these. And like I said, I'm going to be very careful. But this is where they each start. And there's a big difference on that. I had just this ledge here. So when I talked, I had like a space. It was different. And I didn't have the freedom that I have with my new denture. And then this is what the troughs look like. And in comparison to what I currently have, my current trough is much deeper than my old denture had. And for the walls, this is the difference. Well, we'll hold it like this because that's the way that it goes in my mouth. But that's the difference. This was much smaller. I did not have the same support for my upper lip with these at all. Not even close to what I have with my current pair of dentures. My top is completely different. So there's a huge difference between the two top dentures. And then with my bottom, this is what the trough looks like on my bottom, my old bottom. It is much shallower than what my current denture has. That's the difference between one. This one is much deeper than this one was. And there's even a difference in the width on these. This is not as wide as this at all. So there has much less width than this one does. And let's see, I'm trying to think of all of the differences. Oh, so on this one, if you look here, when it goes, it's here and it goes all the way down. So that hard part right here, it goes all the way to the hard part, and it's even, and it sets right there. There's not a space above it. It doesn't go underneath. Where you have that hard space here, and then go right into the soft space. That denture goes right on the hard space. This one does not go that far down. It looks like it might because it has all of this space, but it's really only this deep. And this is just a lot of unnecessary space on my old denture. The part that's on my trough doesn't start till there. Whereas on this one, it starts right at the teeth. That's like right there. And it goes all the way down. So there's a big difference with that, and the shape is different as well. With the way that the shape, you can see that there is that same, I mean the shape changed, but you can see that it has that same, where it kind of goes down, but it doesn't have that weird little like wing thing. This I think makes a big difference on how this holds, because the way that my bottom gum is shaped is not, it's different than when I tried putting this one in, this just goes straight down, and that one kind of like, or this goes just straight down, where that one kind of like curves, where there's a curve on that part of my gum. So there's a huge difference, and the answers to the questions are completely different for my old dentures and my new dentures. My new dentures are much more true to my mouth than my old dentures were, which is probably why I needed adhesive from day one with my old dentures. And I don't know how they fit near the end. I knew for 6 years that they needed replaced, and I'm really not sure how they fit at the end because I tried putting them in a few days ago and the top just fell. There was no way to keep it in, and my bottom just was all over the place. I will give a huge amount of credit to Fix-It because I would put adhesive on my denture and it would hold solidly in place. They didn't budge when I ate, but my teeth had worn down so much that I had modified my diet. I wasn't eating very challenging foods, so that may also be why I never had any issues, because my teeth had worn down so much. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and go, and so I answered all the questions about my new dentures, and I wanted to show the difference between my old and my new dentures because the difference is like night and day. So I'm going to go ahead and go, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.